Bassai Dai is usually the last kata students need to learn before they take black belt. It's important to show a good understanding of hip use and synchronizing this hip movement with dynamic hand movements and quick stance change. Bassai Dai. With the initial movement in Bassai Dai, it's very important that you don't jump forward or simply lean and then push forward afterwards. You must first drive off your right leg and then quickly follow with your left leg, going forward and down, and so your feet land at the same time in kosadach. It is also very important to make sure your hand positions are correct. Too many people allow the hand to come near the shoulder before they deliver the attack. Make sure from this initial preparation point you bring your hands back to your left hip and then follow through direct with this reinforced uchiuke with your left index finger touching your right wrist. With the next set of movements, it's vital that you pivot on your heel and use your hips to generate body movement. It's also important to prepare your hands quickly so you can synchronize your hand, hip and foot to finish at the same time. When you follow with chokuzuki and uchiuke, make sure you use your hips correctly. Starting from tatishito, punch with your hips square. Next, prepare your hands and then synchronize your hip with your hand as you block. From here, return to chokuzuki and again, prepare correctly before you release your hip. It is also important to move your feet correctly so you maintain a solid stance. From tachishito, you punch and you remain in shizentai. Next, after you prepare, you use your hips to twist your body. You allow your foot to pivot on your left heel and right ball to make a short zenkustachi. Next, you pivot on the same points to return to shizentai and punch. Then again, after the preparation, you pivot on your right heel and left toes this time to make a short zenkustachi. This second uchiuke is followed by shutuke. As you bring your right hand up to prepare, don't allow your left knee to point out, as it prematurely releases the power in your hips. Instead, as you prepare, contract your hips and then only release your stance when you step forward and block. In the next sequence leading up to the first kiai, make sure you drive off your back leg so all your power goes forward as you perform the block. From this position, make sure you bring your knee up high and contract your body so you can extend it completely when you perform Yokogeri Kokomi. Ha! When you perform Skamyuke in Bassai Dai, it's very important to get your hand position correct because it affects the application. In Bassai Dai, your left fingers are not touching your right wrist. However, in Bassai Sho, your left fingers are touching. And in Kankusho, your left hand is grabbing your right wrist. From this position, when you step forward, double tetsui, it's very important that you use first your right, then your left foot to drive in. Then from this position, don't make a half step as in Yoseash, but simply use Yoriash, your back leg push, to drive in Oizuki. At this point in the kata, it is important to remember that although your back leg is straight and your hips are square, your back leg isn't locked out. Therefore, as you drive forward Oizuki, simply use Yoriash, your back leg push, to drive forward.